Since 2017, I've been in a period of mourning. In April 2017, my uncle passed away. In February 2018, my grandmother passed away. In February 2019, my brother's best friend passed away. And in October 2019, my dad's cousin passed away. Mourning is probably one of the worst things you have to experience. Every death is a new set of emotions, a new way to process it. So at the time when my brother's friend passed away, I also wasn't reading or praying. So I then became vulnerable to a spiritual attack. So that's when I started to develop anxiety, and I felt like I was on the borderline of depression. All I could think of was who was going to be next, and it started to get overwhelming, and I was experiencing all this sadness. So I really tried to suppress it. I tried to continue with life, tried to keep going, but I would end up having like mini breakdowns, like I'll just burst into tears randomly. So I knew that couldn't really continue for much longer because it was a strain on my mental health and it was a strain on me emotionally. At the time, I understood that I needed to be reading my Bible consistently, but I couldn't see past the sadness. I couldn't see how I was going to be comforted right then and there. But the months of where the growth tools began with the reading and the praying, I really started to study my word properly. And it was at that point that I realized that, God is there and He's there to comfort me. I realized that, I am afflicted and I am perplexed, but I'm not crushed. My friend said to me, she expressed her concerns, and she said, you're kind of like running on autopilot. And I thought about that for a while because I thought, okay, well, what does that really mean? But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I am running on autopilot, because if I was in control of the plane would have crashed. I wasn't strong enough to keep going in myself, so I had to reach out, I had to read, I had to take counsel from my pastor, because Jesus is the reason. Jesus is the only way is the only person that can comfort you during your times of despair. But now I know that no matter what, Jesus is my teacher, He is my provider, my comforter. So when I study my word, I know that in any and every circumstance, Jesus is right there, Jesus cares, Jesus loves me. It might not seem like anyone can do anything for you, but people love you. Like your friends in church love you. They're not just your friends in church. They're there for you anytime that you need them. So I would say the relationships you build will help sustain you in the physical. Jesus will help you in the spiritual, but your friendships will help you in the physical. People's shoulder to cry on, a hug, that support does add to helping you kind of carry on through life.